My first reaction when we were told there was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy script coming in was, oh God, no, don't send us that. One, I thought they'll have ruined it, then I read it and really loved it. I think one of the great things about the material is that it's very, very different from everything else. It's totally unique.
Bored?
Yes.
I think I'm a sofa.
I know how you feel.
What we've tried to do is make something that is obviously true to the spirit of the original material, but is still really, really funny.
Hey, Eggman, Earth dude. Sorry to hear about your planet. What's it called?
Earth.
Yeah, I liked Earth. Got these boots on.
The casting was the key thing, and the choice we made was not to play it the same way as it was before. And Martin, for instance, who plays Arthur, is very different from the original Arthur Dent.
Arthur, your whole planet has been blown up.
You know, and to be the last person or the last man on Earth is quite a good role, really. And I thought that it would be nice to have a new perspective on it.
We're on a spaceship, Arthur. In space.
Him and Zoe actually did a screen test together, and it's brilliant. It's one of those things where as soon as you saw that and as soon as everyone at the studio saw that, it was like, oh, OK, fine. Yeah, do what, you know, that's going to work great. They have a very peculiar chemistry between them. It's not a bog standard sort of boy meets girl thing. It's very odd girl meets slightly stupid boy, and it turns out one of them's half alien, and it all goes very wrong indeed.
You should have seen me the first day on the Heart of Gold set. I was like 2-year-old or something. I was running around and like pressing buttons and running up and down the stairs, and it was so exciting.
Okay, where is she?
The cast, you should see them all together. They're a very weird bunch. And they're all very, very different in their own unique way. Sam came in absolutely full of ideas and full of enthusiasm. He's quite prepared to look like a complete arse and do fantastic high kicks at the same time.
I had sort of this weird idea for the character. It was kind of an amalgam of like Elvis, Bill Clinton, Patrick Swayze, Surfer, Spicoli, Brad Pitt, sort of rock star president. If that makes any sense.
Why do you want to know the ultimate question?
Oh, well, partly the curiosity, partly a sense of adventure, but mostly I think it's for the fame and the money.
Garth's given me a real license to be very theatrical, and you kind of have to be with Zaphod. I mean, it's kind of like a Zero Mostel kind of part, or, you know, Robin Williams kind of part. They couldn't afford Jim Carrey, so they got me, you know what I mean?
Bring some beetle in! What the hell you doing here?
I don't know. Stuck out my thumb, here I am.
Then you throw Mos Def, who is this wise, you know, sort of exquisitely sort of dressed guy who's just very, very cool and very, very methodical and very funny and witty and very, very, you know, straight.
I like the ambition of it. And when I got to be more familiar with Nick and Garth's work, I started to feel like they were looking to create another world. And they weren't just going to be relying on CGI.
Once you've strangled it with a towel, you grab it with that, you let go of one hand.
So, and then
yeah.
It's kind of like...
Yeah, that's it, exactly, yeah.
In the last few years, I think it's all become so much about, you know, blowing your mind with the latest trick, and with slightly less emphasis on good ideas. It was more important for us to do something imaginative, and I don't mind knowing that there's a man in the suit, because the suit's so brilliant and the character's so terrific that you know, my disbelief is suspended.
Freeze!
Freeze?
Hippity-doo.
I'm a robot, not a refrigerator.
My suit for Marvin, it's been one of the most challenging things I've ever done in film. The suit weighs 4 stone, and I only weigh 6 stone. So you can imagine I'm trying to lift this weight. The suit in itself is a big deal because it requires 2 people to put it on. Then also there's a guy that works with the electronics that goes with it too.
Action!
We have these incredible creatures built by the Jim Henson Company. I don't think you could really get much better than that in CGI.
Sir?
What?
Hitchhikers.
I've worked with Henson's on numerous jobs before. They just understand our way of thinking, which is sort of character-based. We really want even the most minute, you know, drive-by characters to be interesting and have depth to them. if you've got a scene that is supposed to be comedic and half of the set isn't there, or one of the characters is a tennis ball on a stick and is going to be put in later, then you run the risk of there not being that spontaneity.
So, this prisoner's being detained for kidnapping the president.
The Vogons, they're based on these old cartoons by an artist called Gil Ray, which were caricatures of politicians and people of power, and they were always very sort of large men with bulbous noses and big jowly jaws.
We started with the idea that these were like politicians and judges, people that just are old, stuffy and crazy, and they just ruin everything. But also, on their planet, if anyone has an original thought or an idea, they get smacked in the face by a paddle that just flies out of the ground.
Nobody think, no ideas, no theories, no nothing.
And so we thought, well, also it'd be quite funny if they'd evolved, if a planet had evolved with these creatures that had been smacked in the face for millions of years, then their noses would be kind of like pushed right up. They look like they've been smacked in the face quite a lot.
This is the president, OK?
Go back to the beginning of the queue and wait.
It certainly turned into a sort of this bizarre factory of weird stuff. It's quite something to say, you know, you think of the most bizarre idea and the next day someone's built it.
I cannot believe this is my job, that I get to have scenes with these gigantic aliens and we get to react to them in person, which is like a million times better for actors.
Resistance is useless.
There's a scene on the bridge of the constructor ship where Jeltz summons Ford and Arthur and he's going to torture them. The way he tortures people is by reading them his poetry. Now that's technically a very simple little joke. A man reads poetry and tortures these two guys. But the trick was to bring so much more, you know, scope and life to that and build it up as this great, like walking into a great auditorium, this huge, like 1,000-story building where this microphone would descend down from the top all the way to the bottom, and, you know, then finally we'd pluck it out and then we'd read poetry to them from there, and it'd echo through this chamber.
Oh, frizzled grunt ugly.
No, really, you don't have to read.
The reaction from our two heroes is so lovely, and I love the fact that we're able to make it as cinematic as possible. There are so many things I love about it. It's a great story, first and foremost. That's the best thing. And then you've got these incredible worlds that you have to visualize from scratch. So to have a great story and have a place where I can invent this incredible sort of visual language to fit the story. And then to work with actors who are not just funny, but really good actors, and who can really bring a real sort of heart and soul to the piece, you know, reality to such an extraordinary story. That's really quite fabulous.
Not that anyone cares what I say, but the restaurant is at the other end of the universe.